Okay, so today we're going to be doing a really fun project. We're going to be making a simple pot using slabs, and a slab is basically just taking a piece of clay and putting it through a slab roller. Now, if you don't have a slab roller, that's okay. You can actually use a rolling pin that you can get from like Dollar General or something like that, or Walmart. So I've already pre-rolled my slab. Now I wanted it to be a little bit thinner, so I put it through with the fabric, the canvas, doubled. Okay, so that helps. Now I've already pre-cut this piece of paper, and what I did was I took an old class folder that I had from a teacher that's no longer at my school, and it's a laminated piece of paper, so I can reuse it over and over again. Okay, so I'm just cutting out, and it's about a 6.5 inch square that I made because I want to have a decent size pot. Okay, now I'm going to peel this away so I have my nice square piece. Now, to make it interesting, you could use a form to press a design in, or you could do like this. I have these really cool rollers. Okay, these are from Amico. Got them several years ago, and since I'm doing this with my third graders, I'm keeping with the theme. We've been doing Katsushika Hokusai. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my roller here and I'm going to press in. Don't press too hard. I want to press enough to get my design in there, but I'm not going to press too hard. Okay, so I just want to get that little bit of design. Now, as you can see, it kind of bowed out a little bit. So now I'm very carefully, I'm going to set this back on here, and then I'm going to cut away that little bit so that I still have my nice squared off piece of clay. Okay, and my nice little tile almost. Now, notice I did it just in the middle part here. Okay, that's because these outer edges, I'm going to take another tool, okay, and I'm going to just make a little cut here, okay, in this direction. So I'm making a vertical one. Now when I come over here, I'm going to go about the same distance, but this time I'm making it cut out to the edge. Now notice I'm not dragging it until I have it cut through. And then again here, same. So I'm pressing to get it basically cut, because you don't want to drag it. And then finally over here on this side, I'm going to go again, cut and pull. Now, this is really, really easy to do. So now the next step is I'm going to fold it up. Okay, so I've got that piece folded up, and now I'm folding up this side here. Now, once I have this done, I'm going to look, okay, so I need to get that area there. So I'm taking my tool, I'm going to just rough up that edge there, dab a little bit of water, and then I'm going to press that together and smooth that. Okay, and you can go ahead on the outside here and use your tool to kind of smooth. And then I'm going to repeat that on each side. So rough up the edge here, fold this up, dab a little bit of water, and press and smooth. Okay, and again I'm smoothing that connection because I want to make sure it sticks together, because the last thing you want to do is have it fall apart on you, because that's really frustrating. Okay, so score here, and then I'm going to score here since I'm doing the last side here, dab my water on. And my clay is pretty moist, so I don't really need real traditional slip. Slip can be made by taking some of your old clay from the same batch. I always use the same batch if I'm using traditional slip as opposed to just water. And what I do is I take a piece and then I just let it dry out. I roll it real thin, let it dry out, and then once it's dry, I put it in a container with a little bit of water, and I let it turn into mush or slip. The kids call it mush sometimes. Okay, so now I'm going to smooth this here. Okay, now I've got my basic box. Now, to get this really cool design here, I'm going to take and I'm going to start to curve this around real gently. Okay. And curve it in. Okay. Then I'm going to repeat on each corner. So I'm trying to get it to curve around so I get that really cute little curve. Slowly curve here. And the last corner. And because the clay is pretty moist, I don't really have to worry about it cracking. But if you do get any cracks, simply take one finger, dab it. Now, if you want to get these edges so that they're not quite so sharp, just take a little tiny bit of water on your fingers. And I always tell the kids, one finger, because they like to stick their whole hand in. I've seen some kids try to do that. So one finger only, and then smooth it, and that gets the edge smoothed. Now, if they want, they can also kind of like give a little bit of a curve like this. Okay. And then you can do the same thing going around. So I've got that and this. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and then here. So now I have a really interesting shape. Now, when I was doing this earlier, I went and I got a little tiny spot here that I messed up with my finger. If there's any spots, like right in here, there's a little bit of a bend, okay? And you can smooth those little spots out. But remember, don't go too heavy on the water, because if you go too crazy on water, it actually makes the clay start to break down. And there you have our basic folded pots, slab pots. Now, what we would do is they go into the kiln after they have become greenware, which, remember, greenware is when a piece of clay has become hard and brittle. Okay, so it has to be completely dry before it can go in the kiln, because you don't want to have anything exploding in your kiln. That's the goal, is to make sure you have these beautiful pieces. And this is a nice, quick, easy project. When they come out of the kiln, we'll go ahead and we will glaze them, or the children also have a choice of using acrylic paints. Some might even decide to use watercolor. If we do watercolor, I like to use Mod Podge, but if they want it to be able to hold any liquid, they would need to use the glaze. I try to stick to using Stroke and Coat. I found over the last few years, Stroke and Coat has an amazing color palette, and it also has beautiful, vibrant colors. So I hope you like our